Alex woke up to another day that felt exactly like the one before. The alarm rang, and the weight of expectations pressed down on him before he even opened his eyes. From a young age, his parents had painted a picture of success for him, a picture that never included his own dreams or passions. Every choice, every step, every decision in Alex's life seemed predecided by someone else. College major, career path, social circles, even hobbies, everything was meant to fit into a mold designed by his family and society. Alex tried to follow that path, hoping that he would eventually feel happy or proud, but each day brought more confusion, more doubt, and a growing emptiness he could not shake. His mornings were filled with routines that others expected, reviewing notes for exams he had no real interest in, attending meetings and events that felt pointless, and nodding along politely to conversations about the right path. On the surface, Alex appeared to be successful, organized, and obedient. Yet inside, he was drowning. A storm of thoughts circled endlessly in his mind. Am I really living my own life? Do I even know what I want? Every compliment from others felt hollow because it celebrated someone else's idea of him, not who he truly was. At school and work, Alex watched his friends follow different paths. Some were chasing careers they loved, others were exploring creative passions, and a few dared to defy expectations completely. While he admired them secretly, he also felt jealousy mixed with fear. Could he ever step out of the mold? Could he face his parents' disappointment or society's judgment? Each decision seemed like a battle between comfort and authenticity. The pressure to conform was constant, making even small choices feel like enormous mountains. Every evening, Alex returned home exhausted, not just physically but emotionally. He would sit quietly in his room, staring at the ceiling, thinking about a life that could be different. Sometimes he imagined waking up one day free from expectations, pursuing something that truly excited him. Yet, the fear of failure and the guilt of letting others down held him back. He felt trapped in a cage built by love, advice, and tradition, three things that were meant to guide him but instead weighed him down. Moments of rebellion were fleeting. He would secretly doodle, write, or dream about adventures beyond his planned life, but those moments were quickly swallowed by reality. The constant tension between following the path laid out for him and following his heart created an internal storm. Alex's struggle was not just about career or success, it was about identity, self-worth, and finding courage to claim his own voice. The conflict within him grew stronger each day, leaving viewers to feel his frustration, anxiety, and longing for freedom. They could see themselves in Alex, recognizing the universal struggle of trying to please others while ignoring one's own dreams. By the end of this part of the story, the audience is fully immersed in Alex's life of compromise and confusion. They feel his inner pain, empathize with his fear, and sense the urgency for change. This sets the stage for the next chapter of transformation, where the seeds of self-discovery begin to grow, and viewers are emotionally prepared to witness Alex's journey toward courage, independence, and authentic living. Alex felt a subtle shift within himself one quiet evening. The pressure, the endless routines, and the expectations of others had started to feel heavier than ever. For the first time, he asked himself a simple but powerful question: what do I really want? This question, though small, ignited a spark that had long been buried. He realized that the life he had been living was not truly his own, and that the longer he followed someone else's path, the further he drifted from himself. The fear of disappointing his parents or society remained, but something inside him whispered that authenticity was worth the risk. He began taking small steps. First, he explored hobbies he had abandoned years ago, things that genuinely made him happy. He wrote, sketched, and played music, not for anyone else, but for himself. With each small act of self-expression, Alex felt a growing sense of freedom and clarity. He started to recognize his own strengths and passions, separate from the roles others had assigned him. Each choice became a quiet rebellion against conformity, and yet, it brought peace rather than conflict. Alex realized that courage wasn't about grand gestures, it was about small, consistent acts of living authentically. As he took more deliberate steps toward his own path, Alex faced challenges. His parents were initially confused and hesitant, not understanding why he wanted to diverge from the expected career path. Friends questioned his decisions, and moments of doubt crept back into his mind. Yet, he reminded himself that discomfort was part of growth. The story emphasizes that transformation is rarely instant or easy. It is a journey filled with both fear and excitement. Alex learned to face the discomfort, embrace uncertainty, and keep moving forward. With each decision, he grew stronger, more confident, and more connected to his true self. Gradually, Alex's life began to reflect his choices. He pursued projects that inspired him, met people who supported his dreams, and felt a sense of fulfillment he had never experienced before. His parents, seeing his happiness and determination, slowly began to understand and accept his decisions. This created moments of emotional release for the audience, relief, hope, and joy, showing that authentic living can positively influence others. By the end of this journey, Alex was no longer trapped by expectations. He had carved out a life that was uniquely his own, full of meaning, purpose, and personal satisfaction. The moral lesson is clear and powerful. Life is too short to live according to someone else's blueprint. True fulfillment comes from knowing yourself, trusting your instincts, and having the courage to follow your own path. The audience is encouraged to reflect on their own lives, consider the pressures they face, and find small ways to embrace authenticity. Alex's story inspires hope, reminding viewers that it is never too late to choose themselves and create a life aligned with their passions and values. The emotional journey, from doubt and fear to courage and liberation, motivates action, instills self-belief, and leaves the audience feeling empowered to take their own first steps toward freedom and self-discovery.